Welcome back to Jump Scare.
It's been a while.
We should really record these more than once a month. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And I guess that's the intro that we're going with. Yeah, so a bunch of horror films just won a bunch of Oscars last night, so I decided in honor of that, we'd talk about a bunch of bad horror films. It's, in all fairness, I don't know if the films that we selected for this batch of reviews are necessarily bad, but I wanted to go with a bunch of films that you don't really hear people talking about all that much, and yet some of them are kind of important. Some of them are interesting enough to talk about, and this is one that I have gone back and forth on multiple times. Nobody really thinks this film is good, but people do have like a weird soft spot for it, and I think it's because it's so weird. We're talking about Rawhead Rex. The name alone might also be a reason why people have a soft spot for this. Because, man, you hear that name, and you see the movie poster for this, and you're just like, that looks awesome. That looks like just some stupid, over-the-top monster film. And it's kind of not. It's not really, like, you watch this film, and it's just like, I don't think you understand what a name like Rawhead Rex implies. Like, a name like Rawhead Rex sounds like it should belong to a monster truck. And you look at the design of this monster, and it looks like if Bigfoot traveled back in time and became a barbarian. It looks like if Bigfoot joined Gwar. That's what it looks like. And yet, the film is about, like, Irish pagan myths and, like, religion and stuff like that, and it's got a message about a family and bad things happen to them, and I'm just like, this really, you did not go over the top enough.
Yeah.
For a monster like Rawhead Rex. And because of that, because you didn't go far enough with it, the monster isn't interesting enough, but now all the more like subtler themes that the film is supposed to have just feel really stupid when all of a sudden this big goofy guy in a rubber suit comes walking in like a Power Rangers villain. And yet, I still kind of like this film. I don't know if that's...
I wouldn't, like, if
like it's a strong word.
It was enjoyable, like,
yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I would give it, like, maybe a C+ or something.
We're just jumping right to the reviews and just right to the score at the end. All right, spoiler on that, but yeah.
No, but, like...
yeah.
But, the thing is, I feel like if it did have a different name than Rawhead Rex, then...
And the monster also would have to look different.
Yeah, I mean, the story this movie is based off of, the monster is very phallic looking.
It's apparently, I've never read the actual story that this was based on, but apparently is described as being 9-foot-tall phallic symbol. Which this was done by, oh god, I'm forgetting his name. Who was it that wrote this? Clive Barker. I didn't even have to look that up. It's not on the screen up there. I was panicking like crap. I'm gonna have to cut. Yeah, this was done by Clive Barker, that's somebody who is known as one of the masters of horror. They are most well known for Hellraiser. But they have definitely done other things that are worth noting, and they are somebody who does not shy away from, like, mixing the sexual with the horror. So, the idea, and this is supposed to be, like, a pagan-style monster, and there was a lot of, like, phallic imagery in old pagan, which, and I also know that. When I say pagan here, I'm using it in the, like, in the way that they use in this film.
The, like, the pre-Christian religion,
exactly.
basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and I know that paganism is actually its own completely separate thing, and that when Christians came in, they were just like, all right, all of you are just pagan now. Just all of that. And that's how this film uses it. So I apologize for using that term, but that's how it is in this film. But yeah, there were lots of, like, imagery in older religions that had to do with, sex, with, genitalia, reproduction. So you can understand if the premise of this was a monster based on all that, okay, big penis monster coming in, understandable. And then you look at what we actually got in here, you can tell that the people who actually made the monster in here, they were just told it's called Rawhead Rex. And that's all they had. They didn't read the source material, nothing. And they just walked out of this like, all right, Rawhead Rex sounds like a rocker. Let's make something that looks like it'd be up on stage, like just, with thrashing with a guitar. And that's kind of what this monster looks like.
Yeah, but it's so out of place.
Yeah, it does not fit the rest of this film. Let's go ahead and talk about the premise of it. This American family, but the father he's either a photographer or a journalist.
But isn't he also Irish descendant? And
yeah. But I mean, they're from an American family.
Yeah,
but yeah, they have gone to Ireland because he is working on a project that is all about pre-Christian religions in Ireland, and this thing opens with a church that has a stained glass window that has Rawhead Rex, this big Yeti with glowing demon eyes on. I was like, oh, okay. Who walks into it? Like, I've seen imagery in churches that makes you go, like, I don't know, outside of the context of religion, that doesn't seem all that safe for children. Like, there's somebody being murdered in that image right there. It's like, no, this is the one that would, anybody would point and go, why are we in the big demon monkey church? Yeah, oh man, why are we in roided out Donkey Kong land here when we're trying to worship Jesus? Yeah, and that's how that's the image that the film opens on. So it's automatically stuck in your head of what the fuck, what? But he goes in there, he starts asking questions about, the father goes in there, starts asking these questions about about older religions, and the priest who is there is the biggest dick, just immediately being an asshole. His name is Father Kuntz, I believe it is. And while this is happening, there's a giant pagan marker that is out in a field somewhere.
Obelisk?
It's like an obelisk, that's the word for it. Yeah, good job. Yeah, it's just some giant obelisk, and these farmers are trying to get rid of it. And they end up finally tipping it over. And the moment that it tips over, Rawhead Rex emerges, and then Father Kuntz back at the church. Yeah, he suddenly just gets this feeling of oh, something's calling to me. And apparently the giant table that is there at the front of the church, where they just put all the candles and stuff on, spoiler for later in the film, but it's been holding some sacred relic this whole time, just out there in the open, that is directly connected to Rawhead Rex. And he then ends up getting possessed by this. He goes full Renfield. Father Kuntz ends up just becoming obsessed. He can hear Rawhead Rex out there. And Rawhead Rex is coming. Yes, forget all this Jesus stuff that I dedicate my life to. It's all about Rawhead Rex now. And
Jesus was supposed to return, but it turned out Rawhead Rex did instead. Whoops.
Yeah, biblically accurate angels, biblically accurate Jesus. Nothing's the way that Hallmark didn't sell you any of this correctly. From there, it becomes very standard. We're just following this family from that point on. And I will say, I did like the family. They've got decent chemistry with each other.
Yeah, I mean, their kids are very much the typical kids. Yeah,
the kids are just there. I mean, the son is just reading a comic book the entire time, and I'm just man, they just did not want to write lines for this kid.
But it's you could tell, the kids are bored out there in the countryside.
In all fairness, that felt realistic.
Yes, very much
I remember being that age, and my dad would take me on big, vacations, yeah, you're going to get some culture and learn something, and just be I am so bored right now. And these days, I look back at that, it's oh, I'm glad that I went through that. It's one of those things that, yeah, my dad was always no, it's going to pay off when you're older. And now that I'm older, I'm yeah, I am glad that I did all that. Doesn't change that when I was a kid, I was bored out of my mind doing it. However, yeah, as the family, I think, is fine. The dad, he's kind of jokey. And it's it's kind of charming. All right. But Rawhead Rex is just running the Irish countryside, just breaking into houses.
And, eating people.
And, oh, man. You look at the cover art. You look at the poster for this. and it looks metal as fuck. Like, you look at the poster for this thing, and you're like, man, that is an album cover right there. An 80s heavy metal album cover. Like, that is side by side with, like, some Iron Maiden stuff. It looks awesome. You'll watch Rawhead Rex in the actual film. It is a Power Rangers villain.
Yes, very much so.
He has a big rubber mask that doesn't move.
Like, it's not even a mask, just a rubber suit. Like,
it's a full rubber suit, but the mask itself, like, it's got, like, a little bit of a snout coming out, like, not enough to be like a wolf or anything. Like, it is very ape-like, but with, like, a little bit of a snout coming out. And the mouth, like, doesn't move or anything, and the eyes are, like, cross-eyed, and they're, like, glowing red, and he's just... So anytime that you actually see Rawhead Rex, like, face on, just... like, that's the face. And man, yeah, it does just really cut out the intimidation factor. It's one of those ones where, ironically, I would kind of like to see this version of Rawhead Rex in like a comic where you could just draw it the entire time.
There is a comic.
You point that out, but it's not this version of Rawhead Rex.
Yeah, it's based off the book, not the movie.
Which even then, I'm wondering if they made it as phallic, because you showed me the images.
Mm-hmm.
And it is definitely more phallic. Like, it's 9 feet tall like they wanted it to be. And it does have, like, a completely smooth head. But the head almost looks like a frog's head. Like, he's got, like, a furry body, I believe. It's been a couple days since you showed it to me. But, like, the body, I remember having some hair on there. It was kind of lanky. It wasn't, like, big and muscular like it is in this. But then the head, it is almost like a frog's head. It was, like, big and just bloop. And I was like, I can kind of see that looking a little bit like a dick. Like, I guess that's kind of, yeah, all right, this is kind of dick-like. But I get the feeling like in the actual book, from what I have heard, he wanted to be more like an actual, like beyond a xenomorph, basically, yes. Yeah.
Like, literally like a walking dick.
Yeah, with teeth. Which I remember that being part of it. He did have razor-sharp teeth, so. Which, yeah, that's one of those few times in which I'm like, you know what? Maybe that doesn't translate to film all that well. So, the film then just becomes like Rawhead just going around just like tearing shit up for a while. Mm-hmm. He goes into like an Irish trailer park and rips stuff apart. He goes into some lady's house and just starts like... It's one of those scenes where you can tell they knew they needed to shoot this, but they didn't really know what they wanted Rawhead to do there. Because Rawhead, like, breaks in, and then he just
smashes everything in the kitchen.
Yeah.
For no reason, really.
Just because they're like, we need Rawhead to do... Like, we can't have Rawhead just, like, go after this lady, because then it's a 5-second shot.
Also, like, he can't go after the lady for...
The first story reasons, yes.
Yes.
But no, like, I'm saying in the scene, they need Rawhead to go in there and, like, chase her down. But that's a very short scene. They needed Rawhead to do some other stuff in there, so they're just like,
smash all the plates and like knock all the spices off the rack. And
it's one of those things where when you're filming a scene, if you don't think about it ahead of time, when you actually get to the point of filming, you're gonna be like, oh shit, this is not as long of a shot as we thought it was going to be. It has that feeling. So we're gonna get a little bit into the spoiler stuff here. I will say it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
I will say the conclusion feels like maybe it was probably fleshed out more in the book. It just kind of like happens. Mm-hmm. And I will also say, Rawhead, for something that is supposed to be like demonic, like this thing that you needed God itself to strike down and bury in the earth, it is just a big ape man going around. There is a moment in there that I will say, maybe this is spoilery, but I feel like this should be something that we put out there. We keep mentioning that in the book, he is supposed to be phallic. He is supposed to be like a giant penis. In this, there comes a moment in which he actually meets Father Kuntz. Mm-hmm. And... How should I set this up? I guess I just gotta go right into it. He starts pissing on him.
Yeah.
Father Kuntz is like, oh, yes, Rawhead, yes, baptize me. And then we get a shot of Rawhead from the back and Father Kuntz just standing there in the front of him. And he just starts, like, pissing all over him. And it's one of those things where I keep looking at that. And I keep thinking to myself, okay, in the book, he is supposed to be like a giant dick. Mm-hmm. So maybe... it plays into that more because that's what it is. It's a giant penis.
Yes.
Whereas here, it's just an ape man pissing on someone. And
he's marking his territory.
That's what I feel like. That's the only way I can feel like you can really read into this, because it is just a big demon creature. So, I mean, it's supposed to be like a demon, but like there's no intelligence behind Rawhead Rex. There's nothing here
like
that makes...
very like primal, like beastly, animal-like.
It is just a big gorilla. It's just a big monster. So when you see it in here, it does just feel like an animal marking its territory, as you put. And the reason why I bring this up so much is I keep looking at this like, okay, Rawhead destroys every single thing. You can tell this is our first recording of the day because I'm still getting warmed up. You can tell that Rawhead is just destroying everything. There's like no rhyme, no reason, just going around, just ripping everything apart. But then the moment that he meets Father Coots, like he actually does like stop, and it feels like they do, like he is doing this for a reason. Like there's a reason why he's not killing Father Coots. So it does feel in that moment like there is supposed to be some kind of intelligence behind him, but there's nothing else in the rest of the film that kind of leads up to that.
Yeah, and like and after like he pisses on him, he like bites his head off. Or, like,
I mean, yeah, he goes back to just being like a monster.
Yeah, just like...
Yeah, so it's like, man, they didn't know what they want to do with this film.
It's like, baptize me, and the monster is like, you want me to piss on you? Okay. If that's what you mean by baptizing, sure, whatever.
Again, in the book, with what Rawhead is supposed to be, I can see how that would be a thing. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, he definitely is supposed to be like some kind of like a phallic demon. So, okay. But here, he's just a big gorilla. So it's weird. Sorry for sticking on this one plot point for so long. But yeah, this film, like, man, I went into this review thinking, all right, I can fill up some time with this. I got some stuff to say about this. And the more we're going into this, the more I'm thinking about this plot, the more I'm just like, man, it's just Rawhead messing stuff up in trailer parks.
Yeah.
In some lady's house. And then cutting back to the family. And the family is like, all right, they're kind of fine. And then the bad thing happens to the family. And they're like, oh, we're all sad about that. And then the movie kind of ends. Then there's like one more scene at the church after that. It's like, oh, all right, I guess the movie's over now. Yeah, this thing wraps up, too. Like, this feels like, man, we had to get... Time is a ticking.
Yeah, I feel like budget was an issue with this movie,
It definitely feels that way. Also, this thing was shot on location in Ireland.
Yeah.
And I believe they actually used, like, Irish film crews and everything. And I just keep thinking, I don't know what it's like today. Today, I'm sure it's far more active. But back in 1985, 1986, whenever this was filmed, I'm sure, I don't know how active the Irish film scene was back then. And all I could think watching this was, imagine being an Irish film crew. You studied this. This was like pre-internet too, so you couldn't like go on there and watch YouTube tutorials about this. Like, no, you had to go to school. You had to go and learn all this stuff. So there's a dedicated group of Irish filmmakers out there who they have just been looking for stuff to film. And all of a sudden, one day, this big studio comes to you, and they got a book adaptation for you, and it's Rawhead Rex. And it's just like, man, this is what just imagine that disappointment. Just imagine seeing like, oh, this is what we have to make. I honestly feel like there's probably a better film in that than there is in this. So yeah, it's a film. That's really all I can say about Rawhead Rex. It's weird. I thought I was going to have way more to say about this film. Because I've even seen it like 3 times before. I think this was actually one of the first films I ever watched on YouTube. Back before YouTube's piracy stuff was so strict. I remember like early YouTube.
Yeah.
This suddenly just got recommended to me one day. And I was just like, what the fuck is Rawhead Rex? And I decided like, this was like almost like 15, 20 years ago or something. I just watched that and I was just like, what the? Yeah, and I remember liking it way more back then, and maybe it's because I was younger and stupid, or maybe it's just because, you know, back then everything was 240p.
Yes, so you like couldn't see how awful the costume was.
You know, like, back in those days, Rawhead actually looked like he did in the poster. Yeah. So I don't know, but man, this one was it does actually get worse every single time that I watch it. I watched it 3 times now at this point. But yeah, I'm going to give it like a C. Like, it's like right down the middle.
Yeah, same here. It's a C.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to the spoiler part right now. So there is an interesting twist that this film does take, though, that I did not expect them to do. And it might be just be because, you know, modern day film senses tell you the kid is always safe. But back in the 80s, no, that wasn't true. And yeah, there is a moment in here in which the little girl needs to pee. They stop, they go out, they let the girl go out there. She screams. They run after her. She just sees like a dead rabbit there and she freaks out. And they're like, oh, it's okay. But they leave the son in the car. Then they look back and they see that Rawhead now takes the son out of the car and eats him. And I was genuinely shocked by that. I still, like, there's a part in the back of my mind that's like, nah, the kid's probably fine. Kid, like, we never saw the body. Kid's probably out there somewhere. He's going to appear at the end of this because, and it's not because, like, oh, man, I got so attached that I'm holding out hope for this. It's like, no, just my brain tells me the kid is always safe because movies don't do that anymore. So it is very weird watching this film and be like, no, the kid's just dead. Like, it just happened.
Honestly, it feels like, I kind of feel like an asshole for saying this, but it's like, kind of like a nice, like, relief from, like, all the, like, generic tropes you come to get used to nowadays.
It's like, when you get so comfortable with something for so long, it is nice to have something come in here and just go like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, it is one of those things that makes watching older films, and especially older, lesser-known films, very interesting. Because you're probably going to see some stuff that you don't see in modern-day films. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the big twist. And then after that, the dad becomes more vigilant in trying to go after Rawhead. It becomes personal then, because he warned the police about this, and they're like, man, you're crazy, get out of here. But then the survivors at the trailer park, they start, like, you know, their stories start lining up with this. And then the father's son is killed, and then after that, he's just like, I tried to warn you, and the police are just like, oh, we're so sorry for this, but come on, let's try and find this thing together. And then after that, it goes to some big showdown at the church. They find in this thing that, in the table up there at the front of the church, which has just been turned into a hot stove that burns anyone whose hands touches it, inside there is an old fertility statue. Which, again, when you realize that Rawhead is supposed to be a giant phallic symbol, the thing that defeats him is a fertility symbol. It's like, okay, I see, yeah. It feels almost like those two should merge.
But then again, it's like opposite. So, like, opposite of a penis would be...
like pregnancy?
Yeah, something like that.
Because fertility symbol isn't necessarily like vagina. It's like just... It's more specifically like pregnancy, yeah.
Man versus woman, or some
which bullshit. That is what comes down to.
Yeah, basically, because it's the it's the wife who holds the fertility statue and defeats Rawhead Rex, because the father tried to do it, but he couldn't.
Nothing happened.
He wasn't able to, like, harness the energy.
Which I do have this feeling. I do kind of like that when he holds it up, he's just kind of like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, you kind of do get that sense that he's just like, all right. Do the thing. Activate. Fertility powers go. Come on now. Shazam. I'm trying to remember what Tobey Maguire was doing in Spider-Man. Was trying to make the webs come out.
Web on.
Yeah.
We just summoned a dog instead.
Yes. That's better. Yeah. And now you're on this side.
Yep.
Boop. Okay, there we go. But yeah, then the mom comes in, grabs the fertility statue, and then all of a sudden, like, the spirit of the lady that originally slayed Rawhead appears, and it buries Rawhead again. But then there's like a post-credit scene, not even a post-credit scene, it's like right before the credits, in which Rawhead comes back out of the ground, and this kid from the trailer park is there at the cemetery at his brother's grave. And I forgot that kid, and so did you, because you asked me if that was the son somehow, like, in the like 5 years in the future. He apparently was fine, and he came back, and maybe it was like the dad's grave or something. And I'm not kidding you, I had that same thought. Because, it had been so long since we saw that kid at the trailer park that's like, what?
Like, speaking of, like, characters that we haven't seen in a while, like, in the very, like, beginning, when Rawhead Rex starts attacking, like, the village and everything, he comes across, like, the woman in the kitchen and everything, but he doesn't go after her because, she's pregnant. So that was obviously supposed to be foreshadowing, but we never see that woman ever again.
Well, she goes like crazy, yeah. She's just like, when we see her again. Man, that's a theme for some of the films that we're going to be talking about today. It just hit me. So, yeah, there's a weird theme with the movies that we're talking about today that I did not plan. So, What the hell was I about to say? Yeah, so the ending is very jarring. It's just like kind of like ends, and they're like, okay, we gotta put something else in. We can't just end with that. Have one last jump scare where Rawhead comes back for no reason.
Because every horror movie did that.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
then.
It definitely, like, man, this feels like a film that was made by people who's like, oh, we got hired to do. Oh, we gotta do my Irish accent. We got hired to do a horror film. Oh, Jesus. What do they do in that Friday the 13th film? Oh, it's the only one that made it up here. Okay, we'll just watch that and copy that. That was the best Irish accent I've ever done in my life. Normally when I try to do Irish accents, I do Scottish instead. And when I try to do Scottish, I do Irish.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way.
Yeah! Oh my God, this is actually going up on St. Patrick's Day. I didn't realize that. That is totally... Wow. Sorry, that was not intentional. Oh my, this is genuine reaction right here. Wow. Oh my God, this is actually going up on St. Patrick's Day. Okay, sorry. Well, I'm glad that I delayed us talking about this for so long. Yeah, if you watch our main channel, I had to make a giant, massive 2-hour documentary that went there. Like, I can't do anything else until this, so we gotta we'll talk about the films after I'm done with this. Wow, that synced up well. Okay, so last thing I want to say, speaking of the mom there, Mom does not get nearly enough to do in this film considering she's the one that kills Rawhead.
Yeah.
That is a very frustrating thing, and I can understand it being kind of like a twist, where it's like, we think it's going to be the dad, we think it's going to be the dad, we think it's going to be the dad. Oh, it was the mom who was able to kill him. But if you're going to do that, then yeah, if it's going to be a twist, focus more on the dad. But because the mom is very important there at the end, you need to also focus on her.
Yeah.
And there is not enough done with the mom. I will say, this film, despite being so weird, it does. I am sinking in this couch again. It does have an important place in horror history, though. And the reason why it has an important place in horror history is because Clive Barker was so upset with this film that for the next film that got adapted from one of his works, he was like, no, fuck everybody else. I'm directing this. I know I don't know how to direct a movie. I will learn to make sure this shit doesn't happen again. And that next film was Hellraiser. And it's like, wow, we would not have gotten Hellraiser, or at least not the way that we got Hellraiser. Mm-hmm. It would have come out very different if this film didn't exist.
Like Pinhead is just another guy in a rubber suit.
It's just Rawhead with pins in his face.
Like not even pins, like thumbtacks or something.
Oh man, that scene where Pinhead started pissing on everybody, man. Actually, you know what? That might happen in Hellraiser. That probably does happen in the later ones. God, we're gonna have to do a Hellraiser like watch through at some point in time. I'm looking forward to the first half of that and drain the second half. But yeah, so that is something important about this film, and that inspired the next film that we're going to be watching in the next video, because it is also a film that, like this, is a little bit weird and kind of forgotten. However, it did lead to one of the most important horror icons of all time. So I'm going to see if you know what I'm talking about when we come back in the next video and talk about The Devil's Reign. See you then, everybody.
Bye.